like to take this time, the next few minutes, to give just a brief update of some things that are going on in Harriman, some things that we've been doing over the last year, some things that we plan on doing in the upcoming year. But before I do that, I'd like to thank, I'm in the studio at Channel 15 downtown Harriman, and I'd like to thank Matt Waters, as well as the students that are here. You can't see them, but they're back behind the camera doing their classwork, editing and filming. So I'd like to thank them for making this possible so I could come on and give you an update. One of the most recent things that we have done in the city that I'm more proud of really than anything right now is a $1.2 million sidewalk street lighting project. It goes up Morgan Street and back down Walden Street. If you go downtown, turn by the Temperance Building, especially at night, it's really pretty. It has increased the safety along the street because of the period lighting that we've put up. This project cost the city very little money. We did a lot of it with something called STP money, as well as is coupled with grant money from the state of Tennessee. So the cost of the taxpayers was very minimal. HUB helped us out a lot on this project that also kept the cost at a minimum. Part of this project, when you drive through downtown, was the new addition of the LED traffic lights that we put up that were badly needed. The biggest difference I think that you can see is, of course, the visibility of them, and also it went from a yellow background stoplight to black background, so it's a little bit easier to see. It cleans it up a little bit, which is in line with what we're trying to do downtown and what we've been trying to do the past few years. So when you go downtown, the street lights and the Morgan Walden Street pedestrian lighting and sidewalk project, be sure and look at it. One note I will tell you about the sidewalk project, people ask me all the time about this sidewalk or this sidewalk downtown, can it be replaced? Our charter actually states that it's the homeowner's responsibility to repair the sidewalks. However, these sidewalks fell into a street that were a state transportation street, so it fell under the guidelines that we could use a grant, so we were able to do it. I'd like to do it on all the rest of the streets, but it's not going to be possible. Boys and Girls Club is finally open in Roane County, and that's located in Harriman, right behind the middle school, and the old middle school gym in Harriman is where it houses the Boys and Girls Club. Right now we have about anywhere from 30 to 50 or 55 students that are in attendance there. Every day after school, they have a snack, then they eat, they have homework time. I think they're going to start doing some civic, community-based things, going out in the community, some public service work. But it's a time for fellowship for them. They get to eat a good meal, they get to learn about the community, and actually get to play some sports and ping pong, basketball, things like that. So a lot of people have worked towards getting a Boys and Girls Club in Roane County, especially in Harriman, and so to see it come to fruition is really neat. That committee and the board that is behind the Boys and Girls Club still continue to push. There needs to be one in Rockwood, and also needs to be one in Kingston, so they're going to keep pushing there. If you have a chance, though, to go by and see the Boys and Girls Club, Reggie Coleman is the director there. He could use any help, monetary help or volunteer help that you can give. The Boys and Girls Club are looking for mentors, or if you think you have a special skill set that maybe the Boys and Girls Club can use as a volunteer, go by and see Reggie Coleman. Again, it's back behind the middle school in Harriman. Should be there, between 3:30 and 7 o'clock in the evening. Prospect 14 is something that we've really been working on in the city of Harriman over the last year, 12 to 14 months. Prospect14.com will tell you a lot more than what I can tell you in this brief update. But if you're not aware of what it is, Prospect 14 deals with the 14 buildings downtown that the hospital used to occupy. And as a matter of fact, we're in one of them right now. Channel 15 used to be a hospital-owned building. There were 14 buildings to begin with. We are selling them through our industrial board. The industrial board is marketing those buildings, handling all the sales transactions, and selling them based on offers that they get based on best use for the building. So we're not so much concerned about the price that is offered. We're more concerned about the use of the building. We have sold 6 buildings, and one of those is a residential building. A young family lives there now, and again, there's 3 more residential houses on Devonia Street that are for sale. So if you want to go by and look at them, or as I said, go to prospect14.com, you can see those houses. There's some stipulations. If an offer comes in way below what the appraised value is of that building, odds are that if the use is what's in line with the vision for the city and the industrial board, you'll probably be chosen and your offer will be accepted. Some things have to take place. You have to maintain ownership for a certain amount of time. You have to do some renovations, and you can't rent it out. So we've had a chance to sell a lot more of the buildings, but the proposals were for uses that we weren't excited about, or that weren't in line with what we were doing. So one of the buildings was on Trenton Street. You can see it if you go by Trenton Street, right behind the fire hall. The gentleman that has bought that is already doing some cosmetic work on the outside. It looks real nice. The rest of the buildings back on Devonia Street and on Rome Street, you should start seeing some activity there. So it's actually Prospect 8 that we're going to continue to work towards and sell the hospital, or hopefully take some offers. We've had a lot of interested parties. Just recently, Bethel University came down and took a tour. We were excited about Bethel University. We have spoken with the other education institutions in the county, and they're excited about the possibility of Bethel coming down and housing a campus in the old hospital. The things that could transpire from Bethel University being downtown are endless, and I think you'd start seeing a lot more activity with support retail come along if we could get the big hospital going. And we're working on it. A lot of people don't see some of the things that we're doing, but the city and the industrial board are working tirelessly day and night on the hospital. Another hot spot for the city of Harriman is, of course, the Midtown area, the Pinnacle Point Exchange right around the interstate. We've seen a number of businesses come there, locate there around the building of the hospital. Once the hospital left downtown Harriman, they built a $76 million facility. It's still in the city of Harriman, but it's of course in Midtown, and we've had some growth around it. We are awaiting the construction of another gas station to come down there, and also another restaurant. And I think once the gas station locates there, I think we'll see some more restaurants locate there. We have been calling upon several restaurant chains and showing them what we have, and just making them aware of the property that's down there. In the future, we're going to continue to work with the police department. One thing that I'm very proud of is just in the recent years, we've been able to lower our offense rate at the police department in the city of Harriman a little over 60%. Our calls are down about 60%. We are focused heavily on the crime and drugs that are in the city of Harriman, and it's paying off. We also have an employee at the police department that works daily with a task force called HIDA, and HIDA is a division of the FBI, and it covers several states. But any drug money that comes from an apprehension from this HIDA group, we get a percentage of it. And because of that, we have been able to purchase our last 11 patrol cars with drug money. So you see on the back of them, you'll see this car was purchased with drug money. That likely came from this HIDA. It wasn't necessarily drugs that came from Harriman or Roane County. It could be as far down as Atlanta or as far over as South Carolina. So we were able to purchase 11 police cars with that money. We were able to buy long guns with that money. We were able to buy duty issued handguns with that, as well as tasers. So the investment that we make for our police department to be a part of HIDA is really paying off for us, saving the taxpayers a lot of money. And it's resulted in, we haven't had a tax increase in the city of Harriman in at least the last 12 years, I believe. And so I think all of my departments right now are working on a smaller budget than they were a few years ago. So we've continued to make cuts and keep our tax rate low. Tax rate right now is about $1.20, which is right in line or lower than any other city in the county. 4-lane extension that comes through South Harriman. Some of you all will see Hopefully you'll see some activity happening there that runs on Pine Ridge Road that runs into South Harriman, goes by Rocky Top General Store, goes by the ball field, South Harriman Church. Back in 2003, we approached the state of Tennessee to finish that 4-lane project and bring it on into Harriman. We put up about $265,000 of STP money that could go toward the engineering for this 4-lane extension. The project has been delayed a couple of times. We hope in May of 2014 this project will be let out and you'll start to see construction, which will help a lot of the congestion there. It'll also help to clean that up a lot. The state has already purchased a lot of the buildings that are on the side of the road that you see that are empty, so it gives the appearance that along that stretch that it's a desolate or a vacant area. It's just that the state has purchased those buildings and soon they'll be torn down. The Renaissance Festival, if you haven't heard yet about the Renaissance Festival out in the Fisk Heights Industrial Park area, the city has entered into an agreement with a company that would like to bring in a Renaissance Festival, which it's going to be foreign to a lot of people in the county, as well as me. I had to go do some research on it, but after some research, I quickly decided that location of a Renaissance Festival in Roane County and especially in Harriman would be a great thing for economic development for us. It has the potential in a few years that if everything goes like they want it to, it has the potential to bring in tens of thousands of people through here when they're having their festival. So a lot of money that comes from outside in if things go like they want it to. And we are trying to do everything that we can do to work with them to make sure that they are successful. The riverfront along the old paper mill is a concern for a lot of people. The extension, there's a vision that's been for some time now to extend our riverfront park from where it is right now all the way around as far as we can, toward the high school as far as we can get it. And that process has started. I'm pleased to say that over the last 2 years we've been working with the EPA, and the EPA has listed that property on a Superfund list, which requires the cleanup, and the federal government will lead that cleanup. The only downside to it is it'll take some time. It'll take about 7 years, and so we are about 2 years into it right now. So over the next 5 years, hopefully before 2018, 2019, you'll start seeing some cleanup activity there, and we can then start getting grants to extend the riverfront park on around. It's a lot of pretty property, just needs to be cleaned up. Again, we're going to continue to focus on Prospect 14 or Prospect 8 now because we have 8 buildings left. And we're going to do that by working through our urban renewal and revitalization program that we have in place. A lot of people don't know what that is, but an urban renewal and revitalization program or district is pretty much our downtown area. And as you know, when you drive through, there are a number of vacant buildings that have various owners. Some are from here, some are from out of town, and we've been trying to get them to, number one, clean up their buildings, and number two, put a viable business there. And so in order to do this, to have some guidelines, we have created an urban renewal and revitalization district, and this is pretty much the same thing that Market Square did in Knoxville. As a matter of fact, we have contracted with the KCDC out of Knoxville to kind of hold our hand and make sure we do this right. But it gives some guidelines for investors or developers to come downtown, and for a legitimate investor or legitimate developer, they would want to see the restrictions and the guidelines in place that we have because it'll protect their investment. And having said that, I'd like to thank you for taking the time to listen, and I hope to see you in a few months to give you another update. Also, thanks again to Channel 15.